So, you just got a brand new SSD. Nice. But now you're looking at your old hard drive like, how do I move everything over without reinstalling Windows from scratch? Because yeah, nobody wants to do that. No one's trying to spend hours reinstalling apps, digging around for license keys, setting everything back up again. There has to be an easier way. And yeah, there is. Let me show you.
This is actually one of the most common situations people run into. Like, maybe your laptop's starting to feel slow and you're thinking about upgrading to an SSD, or you just picked up a bigger drive and you want everything moved over. Or maybe it's a whole new PC and you just want your old Windows setup, all your apps, your files, everything exactly how it was.
Now, the old way of doing this, you reinstall Windows, then reinstall every single app, then move your files manually, and yeah, that can easily take an entire day. But the smart way, you just clone the drive. It's a one-to-one copy of everything, your OS, your apps, your files, all moved over to the new drive exactly the same.
So the tool I'm using for this is called EaseUS Disk Copy. I've been testing it out a bit, and honestly, it's probably one of the simplest cloning tools I've used. There's no weird settings, no technical stuff you have to figure out. It just kind of walks you through everything step by step. And yeah, if you want to try it, you can grab it from the link in the description. They've got a free version you can mess around with first.
All right, so here's how it works. First, you open the software. You'll see 3 options: disk mode, partition mode, and system mode. What we want here is disk mode because that clones the entire drive, Windows, apps, everything. Then you pick your source disk. That's the drive you're copying from. So for me, that's the old HDD. Next, choose the destination. That's your new SSD, the drive you're copying to. Just make sure it's connected before you launch the software, otherwise it might not show up. After that, it'll show you a preview. You'll see how the partitions are going to be laid out on the new drive. You can adjust the size if you want, but honestly, you can just leave it and hit proceed.
And yeah, that's basically it. You hit proceed, it'll warn you that the destination drive is going to be wiped, which is expected, and then the cloning starts. Just let it run. Once it's done, swap the drives, boot it up, and everything should be exactly how you left it. Just that easy. Quick thing on that second option, system mode. So system mode is basically for when you don't want to clone the entire drive. It only copies the stuff Windows actually needs to run. Your OS, the system files, boot partitions, all of that. So when would you use it? Let's say your old drive is full of random files, games, junk, and you don't want to carry all that over. You just want a clean setup, but without reinstalling Windows from scratch. That's where system mode makes sense. It'll move Windows over to the new drive and leave everything else behind. So after that, you can just manually copy whatever files you actually need.
So if you do decide to use system mode, here's how it works. You click on System Mode, and the software basically auto-selects everything Windows needs. You don't really have to guess here. It already picks the system partitions for you. Then all you do is choose your destination drive, your SSD. Same thing as before, just make sure it's connected so it actually shows up. After that, you'll get a preview again. You can resize the system partition if you want, but most of the time you can just leave it and continue. Then you hit proceed. You'll get the usual warning that the drive is going to be wiped, and once you confirm, it starts cloning. Now, depending on how big your system is, this might take a bit. But once it's done, you swap the drives, boot into the SSD, and Windows should load up normally. Only difference is you're not bringing everything with you, just the system. So yeah, it's cleaner, but you'll need to move your personal files manually after.
Now, the last option, partition mode. So this one's a bit more specific. Instead of cloning the whole drive or just Windows, you're choosing exactly what part of the drive you want to copy. So let's say you've got a drive split into multiple partitions, maybe one for Windows, one for games, one for files, and you only want to move one of them. That's where partition mode comes in. You click on it, then you just select the partition you want to copy. Simple as that. After that,
Same process. You choose your destination drive, you'll get a preview of how it's going to look. You can resize it if you want, or just leave it and continue.
Then you hit proceed, confirm the warning, and it starts cloning that specific partition. Just keep in mind, this doesn't copy your entire system unless you manually pick all the required partitions. So yeah, it's more for specific use cases, not really for full system migration. If your goal is to move everything and just be done with it, disk mode is still the easiest.
Now let's move to the next option, Migrate OS, or sometimes it shows up as Migrate to Windows 11. This one's kind of a middle ground. What it does is it installs a fresh copy of Windows 11 on your new drive, then moves your data, your apps, and settings over to it. So you're not cloning everything exactly, but you're also not starting completely from scratch. And yeah, one important thing here, this tool can actually bypass some of the hardware restrictions that normally block Windows 11 upgrades.
So if your PC isn't officially supported, this can still get it installed. The nice part is you don't really have to figure anything out yourself. The software handles it. It knows what Windows needs, and it moves everything over automatically. So here's how you actually use it. You click on Migrate to Win 11, then you select your target disk, that's your SSD.
After that, you'll choose your target OS. You'll see options like Windows 10, Windows 11, then you pick your language, your architecture, and your edition like Home or Pro. I'm just going with Home here. Now for the installation files. You can either load your own Windows image or just let it download directly from Microsoft.
Honestly, the easiest option is just hitting download and letting it handle everything. After that, know any process, continue, then you hit proceed. You'll get the warning that the drive will be wiped, which is expected. And once you confirm, it starts the whole process. And that's just basically it. Easy. All right, now this next option is called emergency disk. And this one's actually really important, especially if something goes wrong. What it does is it creates a bootable USB or ISO file that you can use to start your PC, even if Windows is completely broken. So let's say your system crashes or your drive just refuses to boot. Instead of being stuck, you can plug in this USB, boot from it, and still access your files or clone your drive.
You'll also see a CD/DVD option here, but honestly, it's kind of outdated. It just lets you burn the recovery tool onto a disk instead of a USB. Problem is, most PCs don't even have a CD drive anymore. So yeah, unless you're on an older machine, just use a USB.
Now this one is network clone. And yeah, it's more advanced. Instead of cloning to one drive, it lets you clone one system to multiple PCs over a network. So one computer accesses the source and the others receive the same setup. This is mainly for schools, offices, IT setups, not really something you'll use at home.
So yeah, if you're upgrading your drive or just don't want to deal with reinstalling everything, this is honestly the easiest way to do it. No messing around with Windows installs, no losing files. It just works. If you want to try it out, I've got the link in the description. You can test it yourself and see how it feels. And yeah, let me know what you're upgrading to, SSD or NVMe. I'm curious.